Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's take a walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for talking about Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer comes from Magnify Brewing Company. They're out of Fairfield, New Jersey. Rico sent this to me. I cannot get their beers here. I've not seen them here anyway. I don't know how big the brewery is. He left a little orange cap on here. It's got 429 written on it because there's nothing written on the bottom of the can. So Rico, thanks a bunch for sending me this. This is a low ABV pale ale, 4.8%, sessionable, if you will. Really not a whole lot of other things written on there. There's no IBUs written on here. I do not have that on either side here. And it is a 16-ounce can, so I'm going to go ahead and get this orange cap off the top if I can. Well, these things are on there sometimes. It's good. I like these solid ones. It's better for the wildlife. I've said this before, guys. I'm not a tree hugger or anything like that, but I do think these are a better way to go. Keeps the wildlife, ducks, geese, anything, fish, whatever, from getting tangled up in those regular 6-pack rings that we've been seeing for decades. And on top of that, it covers the entire cap, keeps the dirt, dust, and all that other gunk off the top of your beer. So very nice. And plus they separate, where you can leave them on top of your beer if you wanted to cellar it for a while. Of course, you wouldn't want to cellar this beer. It's only 4.8%. You want to drink this pretty fresh. So low visibility from Magnify Brewing is what we got going on today. Thanks again, Rico. Says here, commercial description, uber juicy and crushable. New Zealand hops bring notes of citrus, marmalade, and oolong, O-O-L-O-N-G-T. I've never had any of that tea, so I don't know what that's going to bring to the beer. So, but it's only 4.8, very sessionable. You could, it's a 16-ounce can. That's a big glass. That's a big glass of beer, but like I said, 4.8%. You could have one, maybe two of these, and go on out and continue what you're doing. So, with that being said, let's go over and see what the food pairings are for this. Says here, American Pale Ale. Cuisine is Pan-Asian. Cheeses are earthy Camembert Fontina. Your nutty cheeses, Asiago Colby, Parmesan. Your tangy cheeses, Brick Adam and Feta. And the meat is poultry. Glassware, pint, Becker, 9 tumbler mug, San Sadell. I'm going to use a solid beer glass for this one today, guys, and not recommended for scented celery because it is a low ABV beer. So let's get this thing popped open and get it into the glass. Very light color coming out of the can. And this is a 16 ouncer, and I'm not going to pour it all in here right away. I want to be able to get my big old nose down in there. About a finger and a half of head on that pour. It is kind of cloudy in the big bulb part up here, so looks like an unfiltered beer, which is going to leave a lot of juicy pulp and stuff in there. Nice tangerine orange color. Good looking beer, it really is. I used to be scared of cloudy beers. When I first started doing reviews, I was kind of critical on these, but now that I've got a little wiser, that just tells me they're leaving a lot of juicy goodness in there, but not filtering it out and throwing the goodness away. So when I brew my beers, I don't filter them, but I use a secondary and all that stuff falls out of it, and usually gets pretty damn clear by the time we get it into the keg and start drinking it. So very nice, very nice. Let's get a nose on it. Oh yeah. Wonderful citrusy mango. Yes, a pineapple. A little bit of pininess in there, some floral hops. Wonderful aroma on this beer. Very nice. Pleasantly surprised. Rico, you've got some really good taste in picking beers, brother. You really, really do. Wow, that has got a wonderful orange mango aroma. Very citrusy. For a low ABV beer, it smells pretty damn tasty. So let's give it a whirl. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. A little more bitterness than I was expecting. Very nice. For a sessionable pale ale, it does have a little bit more bitterness than I was expecting. Now, it's not like a double IPA at 70, 80, 90, 100 IBUs. I'm just guessing because it doesn't have it on here. I would think the IBUs on this are probably around between 50 and 60, maybe even 65. So it does have, to me, that's just my opinion. I've not read anywhere what it is. But it does have a little bit of stronger bitterness than I was anticipating. But it has a lot of taste too. A whole lot of taste. It's got a little spiciness from those New Zealand hops. The hops that grow down there, completely different taste than what we grow up here. And I don't know why, you know, it's just the way it is. I mean, they have different, they're not growing Cascades or Simcoe and stuff like that. They're growing their own species of hops down there. And they have a spiciness to them. And that may be where the bitterness is coming from the hops. It may not be coming from the malt or anything, or having a big IBU to the beer. It may be just the spiciness of the hops having that bitterness taste to it. So, very nice though. Let's get the rest of it in there and see if it clouds it up anymore. A little bit of chunkiness going on in there. That's the thing about it. When you pour your beers and you don't pour it all in there, then you can end up pouring the rest of it, no matter whether it's a 12 ounce, 16 ounce, 22 ounce, 750, 500. A lot of times, a lot of that will settle down in the bottom of the bottle or can, and when you pour that last little bit, it'll be considerably cloudy or thicker or chunkier than what you originally poured it in if it's settled down like it is. So, one more taste before I go. Very nice. I'm definitely getting the mango on this. Nice citrusiness and orange and tangerine and mango. It's a grapefruit, a little bit of pineapple. Not super piney, but a lot of tropical fruit notes. Definitely getting that bitterness from the New Zealand hops. So, very tasty. Well, let me sip on this for a little bit, since I've drank half of it here in front of you. Let her have a taste or two or three, and we'll come back and see where this one ends up. Pretty nice. Rico, wonderful job on the beer you're sending here. They are most excellent. Thank you, sir. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, guys. I'm back. I've been sipping on it probably about 35-40 minutes. Very tasty beer. Very nice. And I know that Rico wrote the date on the top, but if these beers are sold in the brewery only, fine. But these beers are going to the beer stores, and they may be sold as singles. They need to have a date on the bottom of them. That's just my OCD, guys. I do appreciate Rico sending it to me. I do appreciate him writing the date on the top of this cover, on the top of the can. So, if these beers are in distribution and they go out to the beer stores, they need to date the bottom of the can. So that'd be my only fuss on this beer. Very tasty. Very citrusy. Very nice, very tasteful beer for 4.8%. A lot of mango and grapefruit in this beer. Final cup. I do think it's a little on the bitter side for a pale ale, but I think it has a lot to do with the New Zealand hops that they've used. So, very nice and very enjoyable. With the information I have on the can, even though he gave me this, I still think it should have it on the bottom of the can if it's released to the beer stores. So, that'd be my only fuss. Otherwise, very tasty, very sessionable, 4.8% pale ale. Nice change up with the New Zealand hops. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of tropical fruit notes on this beer. Very tasty. Don't think it's quite to the A category, guys. I think it's a very good B beer. And if it had a date on it, I'd probably give it a B+. Since it does not have it written on the can, and he actually had to write it on the top. I don't know where he got the information from, whether it was on the 4-pack somewhere with a sticker, or it was on the 6-pack somewhere with a sticker, or on the case. I don't know where his information comes from, but he did have it. So, but I still think it should be on each individual can. It's just me. It's just me. It's just the way I think. Just the way I, being a beer buyer and reviewer, I think it should be written on the can somewhere. So, B for me. If I was putting a numeric rate on this, it'd probably be right in the middle of the B scale, 85. That's where I'm going to put it. Very tasty. Very nice. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 88. Very good. So I'm a little lower than those numbers on the scale. And it's only because of the dating not being printed on the can. If it had a date printed on the can somewhere, I would be somewhere in that area too, between 88 and 89, somewhere in that area, but it does not. Over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says overall 80 and 80 in the style, so my numbers are a little better than those guys. So I just try to be as honest as I can with you guys. It's just what I feel with the information that I have printed on the can, not Rico writing it on the top, even though I do appreciate this, so I know how fresh it is. But I think, my 2 cents, it should be printed on the can. So there's no question. If you're buying this beer at a beer store, it's written on there, and nobody has to tell you. You don't have to ask them, well, is the case still around? Is it printed there? Is it printed on the 6-pack or 4-pack? Should be on the can. Just me. It's just me. You know, I'm a date Nazi. I gotta have it written on the bottle or on the can somewhere, rather than somebody telling me when it was done. So, if I was, like I said, if I went in the store and I picked this up and I looked at it and I looked at the bottle and there was no date, I would set it right back up on the shelf. That's just me. That's just the way I am. I've bought too many bad beers or old beers. No, and I'll give y'all a little 2 cents. My go-to beer, one of them is Bell's Two-Hearted Ale. I buy that religiously. We went to the beer store yesterday. I'm doing this on the 31st of May. We went to the beer store yesterday, Memorial Day, holiday, and the 6-packs, they had 3 6-packs of the Bell's Two-Hearted Ale, and none of them had the date on the little white bar on the back of the label. None of them. They did not print the date on any of those. So what's up with that, Bell's? You just don't print a date on it at all and get a longer shelf life? What the hell's up with that? The next time I go to the beer store, if they have Bell's and it doesn't have a date on it, I'm going to leave the frickin' shit on the shelf. I mean, print shit on the damn bottle, Bell's. What's up with that? Y'all are one of my favorite breweries, but I'm not going to buy your damn beer if it don't have a date on it anymore. There's too many good beers out there for me to buy a beer that doesn't have a date on it. Even though you're one of my favorite go-to beers, you won't be if you go back next time and the bottles have no dates on them. It's the way it is. Trust me, it's the way it is. So, this beer is pretty tasty. This beer is damn tasty. Magnify Brewing Company out of Fairfield, New Jersey. This is their low visibility pale ale, a session pale ale at 4.8%. If you've had it, let me know what you think. I thought it was pretty tasty. I'm getting to like those New Zealand hops. They got a nice spiciness to them. If you've had it, let me know, guys. Come on back tomorrow. Let's see what's in the fridge. See you then.